For many of us at HHS, we have a passion for the job that's personal. For me, it's my son and daughter, Andy and Ashley. That's why I'm here. This is a picture of me with my daughter here, not long after she was born. My twins are wonderful adults now. They're 25. My daughter just got engaged, happy, healthy. But it wasn't like that when they started. They were born premature at about 2.5 pounds, and they spent the first 9 weeks of their life in an intensive care unit, fighting for breath. When we brought them home from the hospital, it was terrifying. Young parents and these 2 little tiny babies, and brought them home. A home health care truck came to deliver oxygen, and of course they rolled in at that time the best thing we had, which was these big green Welder's containers filled with oxygen, huge things. My daughter was on that for another 12 weeks. You can imagine how much better that would be today if we have like the Everflow and the difference that would make to a family in that situation, or trying to take care of an elderly person in the house.
My grandmother was really the go-to person in our family. She was the center of attention, and she really put us all together. She was the person we would go to for Christmas parties, because she was vibrant, she was fun. After my grandfather had died, she became really isolated and she became fragile. So one day, she suffered a hip fracture when she fell in her home. Lifeline with auto alert would have been perfect, because it would have sent someone over to take care of her.
My story is about a friend and a colleague named Dave Myers. Dave is our Director of Global Product Management in our Sleep Disorder Breathing Center. Dave's quite a character. He's active, he's very involved in the business, he's passionate about the work that he does. At the age of 28, Dave was diagnosed with sleep disorder breathing. Dave's tried many therapy systems in the marketplace, and he settled on the System 1 REMstar Pro for the best therapy and ideal pressure for his care. According to Dave, the True Blue mask is the best mask ever. It fits him well, he's able to turn his head from side to side when he sleeps. He says he's getting the best sleep of his life.
Jesper is a Swedish child that was born in 2002 and was born with a spinal muscular atrophy, so he needed ventilation support very early on. When he got older, around school age, it started to get worse and he needed daytime ventilation as well. In December 2010, he was put on a Trilogy, our new ventilator. His mother reports that he is a completely different child. He's much more active, feels great, he regained his appetite. It's exactly what you need if you're a 90-year-old child who wants to participate in the family's activities as much as possible, live as normal life as possible. Of course, Trilogy is a ventilator not only for children, but also for adults in all ages.
I was very close with my Aunt Betty. She was my godmother. She was someone who was very special to me. When I was 10 years old, I had the opportunity to spend the entire summer with her out in Elgin, Illinois. Here's a photograph of her in a family picture. Unfortunately, at age 40, she got diagnosed with emphysema and really struggled with that brutal disease. And 20 years later, ended up passing away at age 60, way too young. I think about if my Aunt Betty had access to today's drugs and how those drugs are delivered. And I'm thinking about the OptiChamber Diamond solution, as well as our Simply Go oxygen solution. If she had access to those, I have no doubt that she would have lived longer and lived more freely and more independently than she ended up living.
My Aunt Maria, a force of nature. If you would look at her, you would think this is the Queen of Holland. And she had epilepsy. At that time, there was no treatment. No protection in case of a fall or in case of seizures. At the very early age of 40, she moved to assisted living. Lived there her whole life, not married, no children. Just think about what Lifeline with Auto Alert could have meant in her life.
So if I think about our organization, our diverse backgrounds, the many paths we took to come to this place and to come together, there's really a lot of commonality in terms of how we think about what we do, making a difference, making a contribution. And I think in the end, we're all committed. We're personally committed. We're professionally committed. That's why we're here. That's what we're about.